Chad Michaels.
Chad Michaels.
My personal pick for the winner of season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Before I was on Drag Race, she was such an icon to me. I love celebrity impersonation. It's one of my favorite parts of drag. It's one of my favorite genres of drag is dedication to costuming, hair, lip sync, persona. Like, she doesn't just look like these characters. She is these characters. And she can go from Reba McEntire to fucking Pinhead. You know, she can go from Marilyn Manson to Marilyn Monroe in 20 minutes and just boggles my mind. She was a great competitor to have on season 4, and I couldn't think of anyone else who should have won All Stars.
She got her crown after all.
More than her. She does like things her way, though. She's everything has to be her way. I remember we ordered room service while we were in our hotel for RuPaul's Drag Race. And she ordered a salad, but was very particular about what was in the salad. Well, you know hotels in Culver City. There's a language barrier here. And they brought up her salad, and they're like, here is your salad. And she looked at it and she goes, this isn't my salad. This is your salad. And just threw it all the way down the hallway of the hotel room.
Wow. Rock and roll. Look at her. There she is. You talked about her a little bit, but I know you got to record with her. Now you've gotten to really be friends with her, right?
Yeah.
And she was your icon of, you know, all the magazines and the beauty and the David LaChapelle.
She's my everything. I think she is the most important celebrity of our time. I think she is a testament of dedication. I think she's visually impossible. Yeah. She's a living cartoon. I almost think that the plastic surgeon must have just replaced her heart with a much larger one, because she is the most kindest, sweetest,
it's so nice,
supportive,
just so nice.
And you would think someone who is so obviously vain would have such a distaste for other types of looks, and she's just so open to club freaks. Her story is amazing. She's my everything. I ever tattooed on my back.
Yes, you do.
I guess the best story I can say about her is I think it was when we were filming the video for I Wish I Were Amanda Lepore, she was so corseted that she can't sit down to pee because she doesn't bend. Wow. So her assistants keep her these red party cups, and she pees in them, and I snatch them, and in my freezer I have a full bottle of Amanda Lepore's piss. So,
very nice.
It is one of my most prized possessions. And if there's ever a way to like harvest her DNA in the future, I have her piss, and it will be injected right into this face, because as you know, I've gone on a large tangent of trying to look like her, but only to end up looking like a cheap Raven impersonator.
Oh, look at her.
Cherry Bomb. Ooh, someone did their research.
Yes, honey.
Cherry Bomb is an original member of the House of Haunt. She was our glamour girl, you know, like she was the one that gave the T and the A, and she was very sexy. She doesn't take other people's success very well. So after the show, I'm not going to give her any more fame than she already gives herself, but. Just bitter, sad person. I wish she was a little brighter. She even catered to the rumor of her being on RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that. I don't really know how that went, but I don't know if she is or she isn't. But she later on confirmed that she wasn't.
Huh.
And
well, she's a stunt queen, just like her sister.
Yeah, I mean, we used to be good friends, and
not so much.
Yeah, she's just not anymore. By the way, I'm the one that did the retouching in that photo, and she doesn't look a goddamn thing like that. And you can tell because in the wood paneling in the back, the lines are all wavy for when where we pulled her in.
Look at her. Gaga. Like you were saying in the main interview, you felt like a lot of the zeitgeist that was ready for you was because Lady Gaga started
and probably why I talk so much shit about her is to distance myself from the brand of Lady Gaga. And I had to come to realize, I think that the reason I would ever say anything bad about her is out of sheer jealousy and I'm just enamored by her. And another thing about Lady Gaga is it was just like Gaga, 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 no Gaga, no Gaga. I liked it, Gaga. I don't like Gaga no more. I don't like Gaga. And I feel for her on that sense, but that's when you get your creative control, and I've watched her use that. It's like, this is no longer for who I have to impress. This is for the people that love me anyway. And she's our David Bowie. She's our new one. She's genuine and honest and a great writer, and her production is just so unique, and I love her.
Yeah,
I love her.
Right.
I say all the time that I don't like her.
But
yeah. Yeah, there's this Queen Ozma who lives here in LA, and she was talking about how she wishes she could kill Lady Gaga, and I was like, you admit it right now how much you love her, and she's like, all right.
Look at him.
Alaska Thunderfuck. My favorite thing to say about Alaska is the best thing that I got with her no longer being my boyfriend is that I got the coolest present ever, and that's having one of my best friends. And she still makes me laugh harder than anyone else, and vice versa. And nothing tickles me more pink than making her laugh. Making her laugh is fun. She's like a baby. You want to keep it cooing.
Right.
And a genius. I watched her strange way of writing folk music in Pittsburgh, and now I'm watching it take over the world.
Like pop records, huge records.
And she's a drag queen's drag queen. It's that big blonde hair, that big smoky eye. It's a brand that's approachable for everyone. I probably should have took some notes from her, but I still love her dearly, and I often ask her to borrow money.
Look at him.
Oh, me. Jinx Monsoon.
Oh, that's who that is.
Yeah, it's Jinx.
I mean, sometimes if someone's look is so done, I'm like,
yes,
look at.
Yes, that photo was hardly touched. Jinx Monsoon, genius, and crazy. She's never not on. She lives in her own. She lives on her own planet, but everyone's invited if you can handle it.
Sure.
I've never seen anyone smoke more pot than her. I just did. I knew last week you had Hey Qween here.
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to do Adam's Family Values, the play for Peaches Christ in San Francisco. And before rehearsal, it was the pot lodgins, then the pot juice, and then the pot vapor.
Wow.
And then just top it off with a joint.
Right.
And then she's ready to go. You
Wow.
know? And I've never seen anyone smoke more weed.
Well, you've never met Lady Red, obviously.
Oh.
Look at that smile.
I heard you had some trouble at the airport.
Oh, I never have trouble at the airport. That's what these are for.
Oh, yes.
Yes, buddy.
She's the proud owner of 2 Golden Globes.
Yes. Chocolate globes.
Yes. But she's a genius, and her type of drag, it's really not for the kiddies. You know, it's for smart art, theater, cultured individuals. And if anyone has the chance to see her play the vaudevillians, it's not only funny and really clever, it really tugs at the heart. Like it's an emotional roller coaster of a show. Love her.
Love her. Look
her
up.
shit smells so bad. Though. Let me just put that. She will blow up a dressing room.
All right, now look at her.
Latrice Royale, as I like to call her, the Black Divine of season 4. One of those people that shows you that you don't have to be white, blonde, small, and perfect to be universally beloved. She walked into season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race with, I think, a couple of people shaking their heads about what was going on, this over-rhinestoned, black Ursula. And then she became the gay Oprah. And not only that, she's a savvy-ass businesswoman.
Yes.
Another one can smoke more weed than anyone. I'm sure they all say that I can drink them all under the table.
Yes,
but,
probably.
That woman can smoke some weed.
Yes, she can. Look at her.
house. You know, Sharonisms are, to me, they're so easy, I guess, because it's me. But in the Snatch Game, when Rue said, you know, they're making a gay movie about Robin and Batman, so they turned the Batcave into a blank. And she said, a haunted house. No, that's not the answer.
What's the correct answer?
Boutique. They're easy. Max, style-wise, just attention to detail.
Yes.
Minimal, but sexy. She's very shy, which in the drag world is kind of rare to me. You know,
Right.
like we're always screaming. We should all be on Ritalin. But she's the softer side of Sears in the drag family. She's calm and cool, and to be honest, I've never really worked with her that much. But I love all her clothes, and I just love the softness and the editing she does to her visuals.
It does very beautiful. Look at her.
Mother. RuPaul. Well, I mean, what do you
say?
Where do you start?
Sure.
I guess the reason I love RuPaul is she's the archetype of drag perfection. If you looked up a drag queen in the dictionary, it would just be a picture of RuPaul.
Yeah.
Huge, beautiful hair, beautiful makeup, a beautiful gown. But that is not who is inside her head. She's a genius, and her Rolodex of sub-pop culture is everywhere. I mean, she used to be in punk bands in Atlanta. She used to do genderfuck go-go work at the Pyramid in New York. And if you ever have the chance to watch Nelson Sullivan's documentation of RuPaul, he was a documentarian of the New York club scene of the late 80s and early 90s. And if you ever want to see a messy punk rock drunk RuPaul, watch these, and they're fabulous.
You can see when RuPaul, Lady Bunny, and I forget, or Larry T got out of their car the night they first moved to New York.
Right.
Like that footage is there.
Right. And there's another great story about when RuPaul moved from Atlanta to New York. That van flipped over, and all their drag clothes flew out of the back. And the only place they had to walk was Heritage USA, Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker's amusement park.
Christian amusement park.
Only for 20 years later for RuPaul to narrate The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which, I got Tammy Faye Baker tattooed on me too. All these people are tattooed to me.
Amazing. Is there any more look at us in the booth?
Yeah, there's two more.
Okay, well, let's do them. Look at her.
Fifi O'Hara.
Lady, tag that famous line.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I owe my entire career to her.
I mean, there's something to be said for someone galvanizing against you and then giving you so much support.
I don't even know if people really loved me, but I do know is that they really hated her. So that worked out in my favor.
Sure did.
Very well. The thing I can say about Fifi O'Hara is the famous catfight of why don't you go back to Party City, and me saying, you're a busted-ass showgirl, you looked 20 years ago. I've recently visually refined my look to be more palpable, or more Western concept of consumeristic beauty. And Fifi looks like a fucking club kid. Like, we've almost switched. Like, I want to sit here and look soft and pretty, and I shave my legs, and Fifi's doing 365 days
of cunty killing it drag
and I think that was a great. She's a genius for thinking about that, because first of all, that's going to be the coolest calendar ever.
Is.
It's not one picture per month; it's one picture per day.
Yeah,
and I think it shows her versatility. The great thing, like if you look at this photo, it looks so looks so high fashion and stuff. It is garbage. This beast truly turns trash into treasure. Like she will walk through Brooklyn and stop at every Chipotle and steal all their black spoons, and the next thing you know, it is the fiercest corset
Amazing.
you've ever seen in your life. Phoebe O'Hara, thank you.
Wonderful.
See you soon, girl.
See you soon. Y'all are on tour together, right? Again.
Yeah. I mean, and at the time we were, we kind of had our differences, but there's so many more new bitches that
There's new bitches.
she's a cakewalk. She's a cakewalk.
Last one, look 'em.
Verrucola Piranha. Verrucola Piranha was the first person to get me out of that anti-drag funk that I was in.
Right.
I was at the time. I was in a noise band called Voice Crunk, and it was me and like 20. It was like 20 of us. We were a huge noise project, all straight punk dudes and like straight hipster girls, and then me. And I was very protective of being the only queen in the group. And one day I went over there and she was there in full geesh. I was very intimidated by it. And she said, why don't you come and do a show? And she was the first person to invite me to do a show in Pittsburgh, and then that blossomed into a very intense friendship. She was the first person to go to New York with me too, and to take me to my first Suzanne Barge party. She took me to my first underground clubs. She's the first person to get me photographed by Jeremy Cost and get me into museums. And then one day she moved to New York without me. And this was something we had planned together, and she kind of went without me and kind of like became her own like New York underground star, and it created a huge friction between us. But then I got on Drag Race, and that's always a real good.
That's a good even outer.
That's
right
a real
there.
good even outer right there. And we've had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, life is too short to. I'm so bad at keeping grudges. I can only hate one person at a time.
Right, well, that's good.
Yeah, that one's Moon Baby right now.
All right then, Moon Baby. I guess it's you.
Sorry, girl.
Well, I'll drink to that last one.
And I just want to thank you again for having me. I had an
much
absolute
fun.
blast today.
Such a delight. You really spilled the tea, and you looked at all of the hugs. Thank you, Sharon Needles. Give it up for Sharon Needles. Give it up for Lady Red. And Adam Joseph in the Go to Bed Wave. Play that music out, Adam.
Look at us.
Vogue it out. Look at her. Look at her. Gorgeous. Yes.
The legs.
It goes all the way up. Look at her.